Hello, welcome, Sarah Alice here, and in this session we are going to be working on the core. So a couple of things that you can go and grab that will help with the workout. If you could grab either 2 flannels or it could be dishcloths, anything that's basically going to allow you to move on the floor, not to give too much away. And if you have a Pilates ball, or you could even use a yoga block or even a book, that can be handy as well. So if you want to go and grab those things, and I'll meet you back here in a second. So coming to lie down on our backs. And then from here, we're just going to take a bend in the knees, drawing the heels in towards the glutes and taking the hands down by the sides of the body. Take a nice big breath in via the nose. We're going to exhale out through softly pursed lips. And as we do this, with this light imprinting of the lumbar spine coming onto the mat. This is going to engage the abdominal area, so ribcage drawing down towards the hips. And again, inhaling via the nose. And then exhaling through softly pursed lips. Good. On the next inhalation, we're going to float the knees above the pelvis. We're going to reach the hands forward. I'm going to draw the breath in. And then as you exhale, rolling up through the spine, taking a gaze towards your thighs. Inhaling here, and then exhaling, rolling all the way back down. Draw the breath in, exhaling to roll all the way up. Inhale here, and then exhaling, rolling all the way back down. Good. Inhale, exhale. Pausing here for an in-breath, and then exhaling to roll back down. 2 more. Draw the breath in, exhaling to roll up. Breath in at the top. And then roll all the way back down. Last one. Draw the breath in. Exhale to roll up. Breath in at the top. And then rolling all the way back down. Now, from here, we're going to keep the knees as they are. Taking the hands to the temples and basically just having the elbows in your peripheral vision. We're going to lengthen the right leg long. Draw the breath in, roll it through the spine. I'm going to twist to the left-hand side. Inhale, come back to reverse tabletop. Now your heads and the shoulders are lifted. And I'm going to twist up to the other side. Inhale, exhale, inhale. Exhale, keep the shoulders lifted. Now rather than thinking about drawing that elbow towards the thigh, I want you to think about lifting the shoulder. So we're keeping the head and the shoulders lifted. Exhaling as you exert. Inhaling to come back home. Good, we're going to keep going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Lowering all the way down. Having a little breather. And by all means, windshield work the knees from side to side if you need to. Okay, so from here, we're going to lift the right leg up. I'm going to feed my left foot forward just slightly. And I'm going to reach the hands up towards the ceiling. I'm going to charge the breath here. And then as you exhale, rolling up through the spine, bone by bone by bone, coming all of the way up. We draw breath in at the top here. And then as you exhale, rolling all of the way back down. Now if that feels a little bit strong, option is to take that leg a little bit further forward, the left one that is. And you might take hold of the back of the right thigh and then use that leg to help you all the way up. Charge the breath here, and then exhale, rolling all the way back down. Shoulder blades, back of the head, last part to touch. Draw the breath in. Exhale, rolling up through the spine. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Breath in at the top, and then exhaling to roll all the way back down. We've got 2 more of these. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale here. Exhale, rolling all the way back down. Breathing in. breathing out. So use the breath work to really help you. Essentially, you use the exhalation when exerting. Good. And then switching sides, or let's switch sides over, should I say. Left leg lifts, and just choose the position of the right foot. Draw the breath in, exhale, roll all the way back up. Inhale here, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Articulate through each bone of the spine. Really lengthen through the crown of the head here. Inhale, exhale. Draw the breath in. Rolling up through the spine. Let the breath go. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. And then exhale to roll all the way back down. And let's just do one more. Inhale, exhale. Rolling up through the spine. Charge the breath. Exhale, rolling all of the way back down. Fantastic. Now, it's quite nice to lengthen through the arms and the legs. Just lengthen out those abdominals. And I'm going to invite you to collect your Pilates ball. So go and grab your Pilates ball. Mine is just here. And the first thing we're going to do is take a little stretch into the hamstring. So just have the ball by the side. Left foot stays grounded. I'm going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling and really flexing through that right leg, drawing the hands to either the back of the thigh or the calf, and then easing that right leg down towards the ribs. So I'm getting that nice hamstring stretch. Good, and then just releasing the right leg down, doing the same thing on the other side. And there's a reason why I want your hamstrings to be open. Now, in all fairness, this is very challenging, okay, this next thing. Not to build too much excitement for you. So I do not expect you to get to the part where we are using the full extension of the legs. I'm going to show you a few options, okay? So, essentially, grab hold of your ball. Lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Now, we're going to come back into that process of pressing down through the lumbar spine to inhale, lift the head and the shoulders. I'm going to lower the left leg down. I'm going to pass the ball underneath the right thigh, and then I'm going to switch. Now, as I'm doing this, my head and my shoulders are staying elevated. I'm remembering that rule where you've got the peach between the chin and the chest, and I don't want to squash it. So we're lifting here. Now, this is pretty nice. I'm feeling the activation coming into my lower abdominals. Now, to get that extra little bit of oomph, you're going to need to lift the chest up even more. So, what you can do is take your ball and then lift it all the way up over the foot. Now, it literally just rolls. So I have to do that extra little lift. Lift and lift. Now, you can do this with bent legs, although I think it's just as hard, to be honest. Maybe even harder. So we're going to keep going here for 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release. Nice. So, on to the next thing. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do is once again come into reverse tabletop, and you're going to take your ball, or even your yoga brick will work quite nicely as well. And we're going to squeeze, and that little squeeze is going to activate into the adductor muscles. I'm going to take the arms wide, and draw the breath in. I'm going to take the knees off to the right-hand side, and I'm just going to hover them off the floor. So this is bringing nice mobility, nice little twist into my spine. I'm using the abdominals to come all the way back up. Inhale, and then exhale off to the left-hand side. Inhale, and exhale to the right. So this feels really good in the spine. We can feel the activation happening within the lower abdominals. Keep the shoulders, the back of the head grounded. Nice. And then you're welcome to stay with this, or an option is that you stand the legs up towards the ceiling and you move the ball all the way just above the ankles. Same thing, so we're taking the legs up to the right-hand side, but it's a bit stronger now because the legs are long. Now, as the shoulder starts to lift here, that's why we need to pause, okay? So you find that place, and you're gonna squeeze here, the thighs together for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, take it off to the left, as low as you can, keeping those shoulders grounded. Good, inhale. And then to the right. So even if you just go sort of halfway in between, or maybe not even that far, you can just go to about here. So long as you're feeling that engagement, so long as the shoulders are grounded, you're doing the work. It's the control aspect that makes all the difference. We'll do one more to each side, pausing here for 3, 2, 1, coming all the way back up, and then the last time to the left. Good, and then coming all of the way back up. Fantastic. Do take a little breather. Okay, and I'm going to come on to one of my favorites now. So we are going to basically sit up from here. And then coming on to the forearms, I'm going to move back a little bit. Now, you can see here that by me being on my forearms, I've got length through the spine here, so there's no arcing anyway. Rib cage is drawing down towards the hips so that the abdominals are engaged. Then I'm going to lift the legs up. Draw the breath in, and as you exhale, we're going to lower the legs down. Now, you can lower as low as feels appropriate for you. Now, one thing to say here, that if you have any lower back issues, then either just really reduce the angle or avoid this one completely, because it can feel fairly strong on the back. This one I start to shake in. I'm going to do one more, so lowering down. And then here comes the really fun part. We're going to draw some circles. So take the feet off to the right-hand side, lower it down towards the base of the mat, off to the left. Now I'm controlling this because I don't want to lose the ball. Also gets into the hip flexors. So I'm going to do 3 in one direction. You're very welcome to go on to do 5 or 10, but I think 3 is going to be okay for me today. And then go back in the opposite direction. Now remember to smile, because when you pull that pain face, your brain reads what your facial expressions do. It's how it receives information as to what mood you're in. So if you smile, you can trick your brain that you really love this. Yes. And then release. Have a breather. Okay, so coming into an upright position. Just to be clear, when I'm talking about the core, I'm not just talking about the abdominal group, we're also talking about the side body, the obliques, and the back muscles as well. Because essentially the whole of your trunk is your core. So there's always quite a lot of emphasis on the front body muscles, but it's really good to work into the back body as well. So with that in mind, we're going to come into forearm plank. So you can just put the ball off to the side for now. Now for forearm plank, if you come onto hands and knees to begin with, come down onto your forearms, so you stack the shoulders above the elbows. And if you tap the fingers to opposite elbow joints and they touch, that's a good place for alignment. Interlace the fingers here, draw the breath in, lightly round to the upper back, and then you send the feet back behind you about hip distance and lower the pelvis down. So if you round through the upper back, it's going to activate through the obliques. Now I suggest that we hold this for 1 minute. Now if this is too strong, option is to bring the knees to the floor. But there's a line of energy from the knees through to the crown of the head. Okay, so the bum isn't up, the bum isn't down. We definitely don't want any arcing in the lower back like this. Really want to draw those rib cage down towards hips. Keep the integrity of the core there. Good. So breathing here. And again, it's one of those ones that you might start to shake in. In yoga, we call it the sacred shakes. Haven't quite figured out the equivalent for Pilates, so feel free to let me know if there is one. So I do this both in yoga and Pilates, and I think people think that yoga is just sometimes all about flexibility. It's not. That strength element is so important to stabilize the joints. Also, if you're coming into any back bends at all, you want to turn on that front pillar of muscles so that the back is protected. Is that a minute? Yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the knees to the floor. Bring the pelvis to the floor and then come into Sphinx pose here. Just lengthen out through those abdominals. So whenever you worked into a muscle group in terms of strengthening, it's always nice to stretch out afterwards. And that should help with delayed onset of muscle soreness, DOMS, okay, that you feel the next day. Okay, so we're going to develop that now. So from here, I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can stay on your forearms, or you might choose to come into full plank as we explore the side body variation. So I'm going to show you from full plank to begin with, and then by all means do take a rounding of the spine as you transition if you need to. And so for full plank, tucking the toes under. Going to come into plank position. I'm going to bring the balls of the feet together. And I'm going to roll onto the outer edges of the right foot. Come back through center, and then roll onto the left. So again, we're bringing that nice little twist, which helps to activate through the side body. So again, if that's too strong on the wrists, you can certainly do this from forearms. Good. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bring the knees to the floor. Again, take a child's pose here. Connect to the breath. Okay, so from child's pose, we're going to come forward again onto all fours, back into plank. So we're going to develop this even further. Big toes come together. Rolling onto the right hand side, lift the left hand up. Good, left hand comes to the floor, you roll onto the left outer edge of the foot, right hand reaches up. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. And just to show you that again, you can do this from forearm variation if you prefer. Just keep the hips lifted. Okay. And then draw the knees back down to the mat. From here, it's going to feel really nice to actually lengthen through the abdominals. So I'm just going to shuffle forward on the mat. Taking the hands behind me, fingers pointing towards the sit bones. Just lift up through the chest, through the hips. A little scoop of the tailbone under. And just release down. So you're going to get that stretch into the quadriceps as well. And you can lift the chest up, just lengthening through those abdominals. Allow the breath to come. Good. And then coming into a kneeling position. Fantastic. So the next part, I'm actually going to get rid of the mat now. You do need to do this on a wooden floor. Doesn't really work on carpet. So, or kitchen lining's good. Lining is good. So we're going to move this out of the way. Okay, so bringing in the cloths now. And it can be any kind of cloth, any kind of rag. And we're going to place the feet underneath them. So, again, it's planking work. So we're not only working the core, we're also working into the shoulders, trapezius, the rhomboids, the back. All round goodiness. So, Just make sure that I'm in camera and shot. That's good. I'm going to take my feet to the cloths now. I'm going to lift the knees up just by about an inch. And first we're going to round for the upper back, and this is going to activate through the obliques. Nice. And then from here, I'm going to lift all the way up into downward facing dog. Have a nice little stretch out. Connect to the breath. And again, it's okay if the heels are lifted a little bit. And then we're going to come up all the way up onto the tips of the toes. I'm going to transition forward into high plank position. Good. Now I'm coming into mountain climb. I'm going to draw the left knee in and press it back. Right knee in. So you can do this with the foot lifted. A little bit of fun to do it with the flannel. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, also gets into hip flexors. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Have a little breather. Might feel quite nice just to come into cow stretch here. So just remember, you can do as many as these as you like. You don't have to do all the activities. That's the beautiful about on demand. You can just pause at any time. So the next activity that we can do from here, and again, it's nice that the hamstrings are open. We're going to come into our downward facing dog. I shuffle forward a little bit. Good news is it cleans the floor as you go. And then from here, we're going to draw the feet all the way down into plank. Then you're going to draw the sit bones all the way up towards the wrists. And then you press back. Lift towards the wrists. Press back. Lift. Press. It's quite hard to do it equally. Control it in. Press it back. Let's do one more. Good. Again, just take some time to connect to the breath. And then we're going to come into one last activity, and that'll probably be enough for now. This is a good one. Again, it's going to get into the side body. And so we're going to start in our plank position. I'm going to draw the knees into the left armpit, press back into plank, draw the knees into the right armpit, press back into plank, left, press back, right, press back, left. Good, one more to the right, one more to the left. Good, draw the knees in. Glorious. I mean, you can do more if you want to. And then for now, I'm going to bring my hands to the sacrum, feed the pelvis forward, lift the breastbone up, stretch out through those abdominals. Feels really nice. Good. And then easing the sit bones down, and draw the breath in, arms reach up. Exhale, reaching off to the left-hand side, extend our right hand over the top of the head. Getting into the side body, same on the other side. Nice. And just taking a gentle twist here. Coming back through center. And then twisting off to the other side. Nice. And that is just a short little session to really activate the core. I'd love to know your thoughts. Send us some comments. Have a great rest of your day. See you soon.